some still try to sneak in their cell in a hidden pocket, a bag of chips, a book with a phone-shaped cutout, but this one takes the takeout container. Yep, that's a phone under the chicken.
This is insane. They act like this is brand new and it's really not.
All right, listen up, y'all.
Greetings, everybody. This is DrAbdullah giving you another episode of All Things Education Official. Educational news from a foundational Black American male educator's perspective. Today we're going to be talking about, should we be banning cell phones in public schools?
A number of Ohio schools have made the decision to eliminate smartphone use during the school day. And I believe clearly that is the right decision.
Spanish teacher Essence Wright says it wasn't enough to ask students to keep their phones off or in their backpacks. What is going on with the phones in the classroom before this ban went into effect?
Constant notifications. Constant notifications.
What does that do to learning?
It interrupts the whole process. It really does.
If now you have to address it, or you need to have an administrative moment in your classroom that could have all been avoided if it didn't even exist.
And now it doesn't. Students don't have their phones from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. when school is dismissed. Hear that? It's the sound of students at lunch talking to each other and playing games.
When we were allowed to have our phones, like at lunch, it used to be like really silent and like nobody would talk. So.
Seniors Jayla, DeAndre, and Rayvon, along with freshman Moses, say they understand the reasons for the cell phone ban. Raise your hand if your parents would say you are addicted to your phones.
That's all she say.
Yeah.
Do you think your mental health is stronger because of this cell phone ban?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean they always liked it.
Like I'm always used to it, having it in my pocket, you know, so for it to be taken away, it's like losing a limb.
You weren't happy in the beginning. Now it's been almost a full school year. Has your perspective changed, and how?
At first, I didn't see like the reason for them taking our phones. But at the time it's passed, I've seen like the benefits from it, or how much of an effect it's had in classrooms and behaviors.
Okay, well, according to AP News article entitled, "Kids are using phones in class even when it's against the rules. Should schools ban them all day?" The hold that phones have on adolescents in America today is well documented, but teachers say parents are often not aware to what extent students use them inside the classroom. And increasingly, educators and experts are speaking with one voice on the question of how to handle it. Ban phones during classes. Students used to have an understanding that you aren't supposed to be on your phone in class. Those days are gone, said James Granger, who requires students in his science classes at a Los Angeles area high school to place their phones in a cell phone cubby with numbered slots. The only solution that works is to physically remove the cell phone from the student. Nationally, 77% of U.S. schools say they prohibit cell phones at school for non-academic use, according to the National Center for Education Statistics. Cell phone use is out of control. By that I mean that I cannot control it, even in my own classroom, said Patrick Truman, who teaches at a Maryland high school that forbids students' use of cell phones during class. It is up to each teacher to enforce the policy, so Truman bought a 36-slot caddy for storing student phones. Still, everyday students hide phones in their laps or under books as they play video games and check social media. As a social worker, educator, and a disciplinarian, I can tell you this, everything I say to you is true. I did a past broadcast talking about the effects of social media and how these kids are actually addicted to it. The past school I just worked at, we had what's called yonder pouches. You would put your phone into a pouch. It was locked magnetically. You had to have a special magnet to unlock the phone. So the kid actually felt as if they still had control because they actually had their phone in their possession, but they couldn't access it. What caused the problem, though, is sometimes the kid just felt this incessant need, so they would try to bang it open. They would literally destroy these yonder pouches sometimes, which of course cost their parents $25 to replace. But guess what? They were so addicted to these things, they didn't care. I personally believe that cell phones should be banned, and the only pushback we get is, what happens in an emergency? And I've had to have this conversation with parents. I've said, so let's say there is an emergency and you call your kid. What is your kid gonna do? Are they gonna get up and run out and go take care of the emergency? That doesn't make sense. When we were growing up, and I know I sound like an old fogey because I guess I'm one of the old men in the room. I'm the old dude now. We actually had to go to the main office, tell them what we needed, and we would call from the office phone. And guess what, people? Office phones still exist. It's not a thing in the past. There aren't cell phones in the main office. They have actual phones. But what I find to be problematic, and this is sad, I have children that are in the 6th and 7th grade who do not remember their parents' number. They say, I don't remember. I just got to store it under mommy. I got to store it under dad. And I'm like, so you don't know the actual number? No. And go any further, they don't even know their address. They know what street they live on, but don't know the number of their building or their home. So I would say that we need to get away from the cell phones as much as possible, because guess what? They're on them from the time they leave school to the time they come back. 8 hours away is not going to kill them. If you think it is, then you're part of the problem. Once again, this is another episode of All Things Education Official. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share. Tell me what you think. Do you think we need to ban cell phones permanently, or do you think the kids need to have them on their person in case of, I'm going to put the bunny ears up, an emergency? I don't, but your thoughts matter. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share. Follow me on Instagram, Rumble, TikTok, and Facebook. You are dismissed.
Yeah! You are all expurgated. You are dismissed.